I'm Priyanka Evangeline, your internet speech language pathologist, and in this video, I'm going to tell you how you can teach your child to answer to yes and no questions. Teaching yes and no can be a bit of a difficult task. So I am here to give you the step-by-step guide on how to teach. You first start with teaching no because no is a very strong word and it implies that something stops or something is removed from the child's environment. So no is one of the most powerful words to teach. And oftentimes this is what children themselves learn first. That is when you're feeding them and they don't want food, they just push your hand away or they turn their face. And if they want something, they go and grab it. So refusing and accepting, among refusing and accepting, refusing is something children do naturally and very easily. So the first step is to use these opportunities when your child is communicating no to you, but possibly in a non-verbal way, and give language to it. Example, one of the examples was when you're feeding your child and he turns his head away or he pushes your hand, then you say no, no, stop. This could be one of examples. And the second thing is when you're asking your child to play with something, they push your hand or they don't want that specific toy and they push it away. So those instances, again, you can say no, no toy, no book, no reading. So this way they first learn to say no. So by teaching and learning no first, it would be easier for you when later you ask your child, do you want this or no? Do you want this? Yes or no? So when you give them a choice like that, and when they already know no, when they're already aware of using no, and they know the meaning of it, then it's easier for them to make that choice of yes versus no. Now this is something you will practice in your everyday life. Now the second way you can teach this is by understanding the function of yes and no. The first reason we say yes and no is for a request or a preference. And the second way we use it is for facts. So the first is preference and the second is facts. Now preference, when I say, is it has to be relevant to the child and it has to be something the child prefers. Like, do you want to eat biscuit? We know that he was going to say yes. Very few children don't like biscuit. So then you say, you show the biscuit and say, do you want to eat the biscuit? Yes, 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 eat. And so whenever you ask your child a question or whenever you're going to give them something which you know they will like, which is a preference to our child, you show it, you ask a question related to it for which the answer has to be yes. And when you say the answer, you emphasize it, repeat it, nod your head, and if you can also use a visual support of yes and say yes. But anyway, learning yes and no can be hastened or fastened when you use non-verbal gestures along with it, because communication is has a verbal and a non-verbal counterpart, and both has to occur simultaneously. So when you're asking your child next time, do you want to play car? Yes. Yes, car. Yes. And nod your head exaggeratedly. And if your child has been learning a lot recently, then their imitation skills will be very good. So they will start imitating you and understanding that this means yes and I will get it. So a follow-up to point number 2 is when you give the answer, when you say yes and you ask a question and say yes, immediately follow it up with a relevant action. So when you say, do you want this? Do you want blocks? Do you want to go out? Make sure you do the action, that is, you take your child out, you give your child something to eat, that has to definitely follow what you say. Otherwise, your yes will become meaningless and child will not learn the power of saying yes or no. If you've been liking my content so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you have any doubts, don't hesitate to comment it below. I will always read all the comments and give you answers. Again, your child might like to play with water. So again, you take him to the bathroom when it's time to bath. Do you want to bath? Yes, yes, bath. Yes, bath. And then you can take him inside and start your process. So just a small recap. First, you teach your child no to say no. You verbalize whenever they tell no to you. Then you teach your child to say yes for their preferred objects. Then you can work on yes and no for preferred items and non-preferred items. So let's say your child does not like lady's finger, and then you can present it to him and say, do you want to eat lady's finger? And you just wait. So your child might push it away, or your child might not be interested. So you again present it and say no, no, and then you take it away. So you have to give the language for yes or no relevant to the question you ask, and do the non-verbal gesture, as well as carry out the action of taking it away or giving it to them. So far we have covered preference based yes and no. Now let's move on to fact based yes and no. So our children generally master preference based yes and no questions first, and then they move on to fact based yes and no questions. Even when you start working on fact based yes and no questions, use questions that are relevant to them. So some examples will be, are you hungry? Yes, hungry. Are you thirsty? Yes, thirsty. And then you give the water or you give the food. Are you cold? Are you cold? Yes, cold. And then give a blanket. Are you hot? Are you feeling hot? Yes, hot. And then switch on the fan or the AC. Now, if you see, all these questions on fact-based yes and no is more on the child's feelings. So you can talk about how when they are sad or when they are happy or when they are very excited and jolly. Those instances also, are you angry? Are you angry? Yes, angry. And once you do these feeling and fact-based yes and no questions, then you can move on to more actual facts like, are you a boy? Yes, boy. Is she a girl? Yes, girl. Are you a girl? No, she is a girl. So you can go to more fact-based questions like this. Here, you would benefit from using more visual supports. So in a paper, you can create a notebook or flashcards of your own, and you can write questions and give choices and practice with your child. Lot of facts about him or her age or where they study or who is her friend, what does he like to do. So you can make up all these questions which are facts about the child, his family, his friends, his likes, his dislikes, and you can create a book or a yes or no book, and where you can have options of yes and no. Then you can sit with him every day and practice these questions with her. So you can go, are you a boy? Yes, I am a boy. Yes, I am a boy. Is your name Pratiksha? No. Is your name Pratiksha? No. My name is Preeti. We first started with facts relevant to the child's feelings, because feelings are strong and deeply felt. So we can start with feelings, especially feelings of hunger, thirst, needing to go to the bathroom, feeling anger, because these are very strong in the body and children are very aware of that. So it's easy to learn first. So feeling based facts, factual questions. And then now we're moving on to facts about child himself or herself. Once we have covered that, here you can make a booklet activity. The last thing you can do is just general yes and no questions like, is today a Monday? Is it raining outside? Is that a sunflower? Is that a turtle? So these type of questions you can slowly start incorporating, which is the final stage of yes and no questions. But again, don't stop once you've reached, like I have mentioned, 4 levels. Don't stop at any level. Make sure you continuously practice each level and your child is able to answer all the questions, and then you can go to the next level. Sometimes it is okay to interchangeably teach, but still keep the progression of developing answering yes and no questions in your mind. and make sure that you also do more general questions. So for these general questions, you can still continue in your book, or you can just take up a picture and do yes or no, or you can hold up two cards for yes and no, and you can show, and you can ask your child, is it raining outside? Yes, raining, or no raining. Now here is a special note. So when you have a child who is a Gestalt language processor, what typically happens is they take the last response. That if you ask, is that a sunflower? Yes, sunflower. No, sunflower. They might say no, sunflower, because that is the last utterance you made. So here, for when a child does this, what we do is we don't give the choice. We don't verbalize the choice. We just present the questions first, give them some time to look at the choices. Then we present the question, is that a sunflower? And then we wait for a few seconds to see if child comes up with something. Now, frequently what happens is he might know that it is not a sunflower, but he might still say yes. So in that case, you just still wait and you show a confused look on your face. Like that. And wait, just wait. And I know this is the most difficult thing to do because you want to teach fast and you want to give all that knowledge to your child. But just wait and see if he corrects himself. And if correction is missing, then you can start and say, no, it is not a sunflower, it is a rose. And then again ask the question, is that a sunflower? And again wait and repeat this process until your child answers correctly. So the key here for a Gestalt language processor is to wait and see if they come up with an answer. And even if they come up with the wrong answer, wait for 5 seconds, wait for even 10 seconds to see if they can correct their answer. And if not, then only you help by saying the correct response and again asking the question. I'm going on about Gestalt language processing. So if this concept is very new to you, don't worry, you can check out my echolalia videos, or if not, I have a write-up on this. You can just text me on WhatsApp and I will send that write-up to you. And you can understand what it means and how, if your child is a Gestalt language processor, and how to help them. Okay, just a final note. After watching my videos, I have many parents message me on WhatsApp with their doubts and questions and even your appreciation, which I'm very grateful for. It would help me a little bit, and it would help the other parents who's watching our videos if you can leave those comments and questions at the end in the video itself, that is in the comment section itself, than WhatsApp. Because then WhatsApp will recognize that this video is actually indeed helpful for parents and it will recommend it to more parents. So if possible, leave a comment at the under this video. If not, you can, even if you text me on WhatsApp, I will reply. Alright, if you found this helpful, share this 4-step process with other parents and help them too. See you in the next video. And if you have any more topics you want me to make a video on, just let me know in the comments and I will work on it. See you in the next video. Bye.